The main character of the story is a boy named Psyche who has psychic powers. From the moment he was born, he could walk, but he walked in the air. In addition, he could also use teleportation to help his mother with shopping. As his powers grew, he began using them fully and lived a happy life. But he started feeling that life was boring because he could do everything too easily. One day, when he came home, he found his father sitting at the door because he had lost his keys. Psyche just moved his finger and the door opened. His family used to be very happy before, but now his parents were always fighting. Even during meals, his mother would angrily put rice into his father's shoes, and sometimes she would throw the table at him. Psyche used his psychic powers to discover that his parents still loved each other deeply, so he used telepathy to connect their thoughts and restore their relationship. Since childhood, Psyche had to hide his powers to avoid trouble, and he found it very troublesome when other people's thoughts entered his mind. However, he could never read Nandu's mind because Nandu never thought about anything. In class, there was a student named Kadu who always claimed to be a superhero, but he was actually a chunibyu who imagined that he had special powers no one else had. When people made fun of Kadu, he would go alone to the bathroom to cry. Psyche decided to help his friend. One day, when a snake entered the classroom, Kadu fought with it. Suddenly, a wave of electricity struck the snake, released by Psyche. Kadu thought he had defeated the snake himself, which only strengthened his delusion. In Psyche's class, there was also a very confident and beautiful girl named Kokomi. She was always cheerful, and many boys tried to flirt with her. One day, Kokomi saw Psyche on the road and ran to get his attention, but Psyche ignored her because he already knew her thoughts. Kokomi kept trying to get Psyche's attention, but he had to use teleportation to escape from her. The subject Psyche hated most was gymnastics, because he always had to restrain his strength. A student named Hiro was the class president and always very enthusiastic, so everyone liked him. One day, the students were divided into two teams to play dodgeball. Psyche threw the ball very lightly, controlling his strength, but Hiro thought it was a sign of weakness. Soon, all of Psyche's teammates were out, and only he and Hiro were left. Psyche then started playing seriously so that people wouldn't dislike him. Psyche managed to avoid Kokomi, but now there was another problem. A classmate named Chiyo, who had a crush on him, would only draw his picture in class. One day, Psyche ignored her and put her dropped handkerchief back into her pocket. The next day, he saw Chiyo standing under an umbrella with a handsome boy and had forgotten about him. Psyche's parents had gotten close again and now wanted him to combine their rooms. Psyche moved his finger and destroyed the wall between them, but his father thought it was too much and told him to put it back. One day, Psyche saw a young boy performing magic tricks on the street, but realized it was just a scam. He even helped him a little with his powers. The next day, Psyche saw the boy on television doing a magic show inside a cardboard box. Psyche thought the boy was putting himself in danger, so he teleported inside the box to save him, but the boy had escaped through a secret tunnel. Stable, during summer vacation, Nandu invited Saki to the beach. Saki's mother was happy he had friends. Saki didn't want to go at first, but his mother forced him. At the beach, they met Kadu, and Hiro was working there as a lifeguard. Saki felt uncomfortable with the noise and went underwater to relax. While playing, they saw a girl drowning and jumped in to save her, but Kadu couldn't swim and Hiro got tired quickly. Nandu struggled to get everyone to shore, so Saki helped him walk on water. Later, Saki and Kadu saw Nandu buying a cake and thought he had a girlfriend, but it turned out it was for his father. Saki noticed Nandu's father looked a lot like him. One day, Saki received a letter saying he was a psychic. Before he could find out who sent it, the sender, a boy named Reed who could see ghosts, appeared. Reed said he wanted Saki as his disciple, but when Saki learned that he only wanted powers to spy on girls, he chased him away. The next day, Reed transferred to a class near Saki's. Saki threatened him to keep his powers a secret. Hiro asked Saki to prepare equipment for the upcoming sports festival. While working, the wood ran out and Hiro went to buy more. Alone, Saki made the equipment with his powers, but it turned out the festival was more than a month away. Chiyo, who had briefly forgotten Saki after finding a new boyfriend, started liking him again when her relationship fell apart. Saki tried to help them get back together, but when they went to a restaurant, the boyfriend's terrible eating habits drove Chiyo away again. On the sports festival day, Saki decided to run slowly to avoid attention. Kokomi, the class representative, used her beauty in the three-legged race to make her partner carry her to the finish line. Nandu saw strange antennas on Saki's head and removed them, causing Saki to faint. NASA detected a strange energy source and announced Earth might face a crisis. Saki regained consciousness when the antennas were put back. They helped him control his powers. Without them, he could destroy the world. During the festival, Saki accidentally broke a rope. Trying to fix it, he pulled the opposing team instead. Hiro declared that if they lost, the whole team would have to shave their heads. In the final relay, Saki ran at lightning speed, but fell near the finish line and his class lost. The next day, all the boys, including Saki, shaved their heads. The school was talking about a famous fortune teller. Kadu thought it was nonsense, but went in disguise to meet them. Saki followed invisibly and saw the fortune teller identify Kadu as a chunibyo and trick him into buying a charm for 30,000 yen. Saki had to use his powers to get the money back. While returning home, Saki saw Nandu, Kokomi, and Kadu. Nandu and Kadu acted differently in front of Kokomi's beauty. Kokomi thought it was normal, but was still annoyed that Saki never paid attention to her. Nandu invited them all to a ramen shop, which looked abandoned. Kokomi was scared, but ate there to avoid seeming arrogant. The dirty and animal-like ramen disgusted her, but Saki used his powers to help her. Saki could also see the future and had saved Earth many times. One morning, he foresaw an explosion at a gas station caused by a girl tripping on a stone, leading to an out-of-control truck crashing there. He removed the stone to prevent the accident.
Stable. On his way home from school, Saki saw a cat stuck on a wall and used telepathy to talk to it. The cat was arrogant, believing cats were superior because humans treated them like kings. Saki forced it to beg for help before rescuing it. Every Christmas, Saki stayed home alone, but this time Nandu visited with his family to celebrate. During dinner, Nandu said his father had passed away long ago, so Saiki's father dressed as Santa to cheer him up. For New Year's, Saiki's family visited a nearby temple where his parents were happy to see he had so many friends. His father mistook Kokomi for his girlfriend and invited them all for hot pot. On Valentine's Day, girls gave boys chocolates. Hiro got many because he always helped girls, but they actually used him. Kadu thought he got a gift from Kokomi, but it was from Nandu mocking him. During winter break, Nandu invited Saiki out, but Nandu's father kept bothering him. Annoyed, Saiki used an energy ball, but it didn't hurt him. Reet explained that only ghosts could touch ghosts. Saiki met a magician who turned out to be Nandu's mother's boyfriend. Later, Saiki met his classmate Chisa, who was working part-time because her family was very poor. He gave her his ice cream because she looked at it so greedily. Saiki's class planned a picnic to an island, but a storm canceled it. Since the school held picnics only once every 3 years, everyone was disappointed. Saiki removed the storm with his powers, and the trip was back on. On the plane, Saiki foresaw it would crash into the ocean because the elderly pilots couldn't fly properly. He flew the plane himself to the destination. On the island, they toured around and visited an animal shop, but due to wildlife protection rules, animals could only be seen on TV. That night, Saiki rested alone after using too much power in the morning. Kokomi found him sleeping and, curious about his antennas, removed them. Suddenly, the hotel and all students disappeared. Saiki had turned the hotel into a pirate ship and everyone was at the beach. After restoring things, Saiki couldn't find Kokomi and located her in the forest, about to be attacked by a bear. He teleported her back, but she thought it was just a dream. The next day, the students went swimming. The boys were excited to see Kokomi in a swimsuit, but Psyche's cold reaction annoyed her. Two thugs flirted with her until Chio chased them away, but they thought she was just jealous. Karu came to confront them, but his weak anger had no effect, so Psyche secretly made them feel pain. On the last day of the picnic, everyone went shopping. Psyche wanted to go to an ice cream shop that sold only 5 special cups a day, but by the time he got there, his group had already bought them. A new student, Aren, joined the class. He looked scholarly, but was actually a notorious troublemaker since kindergarten. He decided to be a model student, but when he saw Nandu's face, he wanted to punch him until he realized Nandu was just an idiot. Aren beat up a bully harassing a classmate. For the school festival, the class suggested displaying strange stones found in the courtyard, but Hiro opposed it. Chio suggested a barbecue stall. On the festival day, Psyche and friends visited haunted houses, where ghosts fainted after seeing Nandu's face. Psyche's parents and Nandu's mother attended the festival. In the bathroom, Nandu wore Psyche's glasses as a joke, but looking into Psyche's eyes turned him into stone, one of Psyche's hidden powers. This is why he always wore glasses. There was no way to turn Nandu back, except to wait for the power to fade. When Psyche's father came to give him another pair of glasses, he accidentally broke Nandu into pieces, but Psyche easily restored him and placed him in class as a statue, which won them the best display prize.
Stable Kokomi asked Saki out on a weekend date. Although he didn't want to, he agreed. Since Saki loved sweets, Kokomi took him to eat cake, but the boys following her made Saki uncomfortable. He waited for her to finish shaking hands with each boy before leaving. He let her win in games so she wouldn't get angry. At the train station, they met Kokomi's brother, who got furious upon seeing them together, so Saki teleported Kokomi away, invisibly, making her like him even more. That Christmas, Saki's father dressed as Santa but got back pain, so Saki had to go instead. He entered houses through chimneys, but children hesitated to take gifts from him. Kokomi sent Saki a New Year's card but got no reply, which confused her. On the way to school, Keidu met Aren and saw him being confronted by a gang, but Aren easily beat them. Keidu began thinking Aren was a gangster. In reality, Keidu imagined confronting a gangster, but he actually gave them his wallet. Aren then came and beat them up, removing Keidu's fear. Everyone was surprised to see Nandu working at a grocery store, but he worked so hard that the owner begged him to leave. When they learned Nandu was saving money for his mother's birthday, they were touched. Saki, Keidu, Aren, and Nandu applied to work at a food shop. Saki used his powers to make Nandu look handsome, but he was still an idiot inside. During an endurance test at school, Saki tried to walk slowly with his friends, but they got tired quickly, so he gave them a little more strength. Saki's family visited his grandparents, who didn't know about his powers. His grandfather pretended not to care, but secretly listened to conversations from the next room. He had a childish personality and liked to act strict, but he loved Saki deeply. The next day, they went to play in a nearby old park. The Ferris wheel had loose screws. Saki rode a roller coaster with his father, whose helmet fell off. Saki caught it. The Ferris wheel shook, but his grandfather still wanted to ride it. They couldn't think of anything to talk about, and suddenly the box hit a metal pole. His grandfather panicked, but tried to protect Saki, who used his powers to fix the box. On the way back, their car ran out of fuel because his grandfather had secretly drained it to keep Saki there longer. Saki had already sensed this and kept a fuel tank in the trunk. Later, a landslide blocked the road. Not wanting to hide his powers anymore, Saki cleared the rocks, shocking his grandparents. His grandfather feared Saki had seen through his feelings. Reet had recently become popular with girls by getting help from ghosts who were famous when alive. Saki feared he might do something bad, so he disguised himself as a girl to spy on him. Reet lost control after letting too many ghosts into his body, and Saki expelled them. Reet sometimes dressed as a girl to join girls' clubs, but it was obvious he was a pervert. He asked Saki to form a new club, so Reet created a spiritual club to teach about ghosts. A normal girl joined, followed by Keidu, and Shio joined to be with Keidu. One day, a kid's ball hit Saki's antenna, breaking it. Unable to control his powers, he tried to reverse time to fix it, but returned too early, causing chaos, including breaking Nandu's wall. His eyes now turned anyone into stone, so his parents sent him to London to meet his brother, Kyu-suk, a genius scientist who easily fixed the antenna. Kyu-suk had always made their parents proud, but could never surpass Saki. He challenged Saki to play hide-and-seek with Nandu, Keidu, and Otarin in London. Even with powers, Saki hid so well that Kyu-suk mistook them for kidnappers, causing the whole mall to chase them until Saki hypnotized everyone. During summer vacation, the spiritual club visited Reet's home, an old deserted mountain shrine. They played a courage game in pairs. Reet was paired with Chio, and they developed feelings after an incident, but when a wild boar attacked, Reet ran away, leaving her behind. Saki spent more time at Hiro's tennis club and was dragged into a match between Nandu and Hiro. Planning to hit the ball out, Saki accidentally hit it so hard it flew out of the camp. One day, he met Shisho, who had eaten poisonous mushrooms because he had no food. Nandu was also interested in the mushrooms. Shisho took them to a science institute for a drug test. The medicine didn't affect Saki, but Nandu and Shisho's bodies kept changing. Finally, everyone prepared a surprise birthday party for Saki, with each friend giving him a special gift. Hiro carved a wooden statue, Chio and Kokomi made a cake shaped like his face, Arin and Shisho recorded greetings from acquaintances, and Keidu wrote an emotional letter. When they arrived to surprise him, Saki's father opened the door. Saki quickly hypnotized them into thinking it was him. In the end, Saki decided to join the party because his friends had prepared it especially for him.